Here we go. I got to keep myself on the screen or you won't be able to hear the music. Otherwise, I take myself off.
Bro, stay there.
Oh, I'm going to share it out.
Back to the show toes, high tops, low face Caesars, running the block, going through the maze to get a piece of cheese. Please, I ain't with all that political greenback philosophy. I graduated from the New Earth School. No cash rules, started art of relaxing. Provided by Professor L and Dr. Manhattan. Spoken never dividing the world up like a fraction. You dig? About the brothers, about the sisters, about the children. It's all love. About the brothers, about the sisters, about the children. Love, essence of the seed of life over the heart. My star seed spark, ascending close to my prime. Trapping jewels well refined, like a hot neck turning with dime. We're doing just fine, boldly going where they afraid to. Fear's a byproduct, don't let it change you. Change your angle, dig through deep truth, grassroots, new earth, UBC. This how we do. About them brothers, about the sisters, about them children. It's all love. About them brothers, about the sisters, about the children. Love.
Confidence is knowing. It is an inner certainty. And
Mastery School, absolutely. Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to the Let's Build once again. Here live from the Raw. First and foremost, I'd like to acknowledge the nature of our platform at present. We have not necessarily a brand new, but in addition to our Let's Build network and platform is Mr. Todd Medina and the Soulogy community doing our engineering today, of course, and we are truly appreciative of his work and all that is taking place here as we move closer to coexisting and co-creating and building upon the New Earth platform, which is this now moment, a great honor and pleasure indeed. So, Todd, once again, we salute you and thank you so very much for being here. Of course, we also would like to extend that same appreciation to Melissa Nell out there in Dubai for doing our administration and coordination behind the scenes. She's the one responsible for updating a lot of our posts, sharing the flyers for our Let's Build, sharing a lot of the music in our comment section and addressing some of your inquiries, as well as some of the other behind the scenes material, such as our playlist and coordinations of some of the things that we do outside of our on-screen circumstances and opportunities to share and connect with you. So with that being said, once again, we truly appreciate all open and willing to serve as we build upon what is the New Earth in this now moment from who we are of the spiritual hierarchies. Once again, a great honor and pleasure to connect with you. Hopefully everyone is here. As you can see, Overseas is back on deck and here on the command bridge. That was Overseas' Groove on our initial song playlist. Of course, available at SoundCloud, .com/ Basement Politics is the page. We have another page, Universal Brothers Circle, being our main page. However, all of our new material is on our Basement Politics page, which is available free for download. Of course, to my right, your left is Born 13, the poet, Dr. Manhattan, definitely here and shining the light. Of course, always for the new earth. Today, our subject matter is innocence. Thank you once again, Mel, for creating the playlist for today's talk. Truly humble and gracious for all who are open and willing to connect and are benefiting from that which is being expressed from who we are, the angelic realms of the Galactic Council of the Galactic Federation of Light, and who I am as your Commander Ashtar, as always, in unity. So, as always, the disclaimer remains: this vehicle is responsible for expressing the sonic nature of the communications and guidance that we always provide, which has its foundation within your own heart space. The nature of this connection, this talk, this communion that we have through our Let's Build platform is once again a great pleasure and honor and a privilege. So once again, as being here in the physical, we are thankful for all of the platforms amongst your social media and mainstream media outlets that allow us to connect with you in this most integrated way. The other 80% of the communication, once again, remains within your own heart center. And via this connection, we intend to allow for that communication to take place where it's necessary for all to digress, relax, center yourself, and connect with the heart space in this now moment, where we usually do an exercise, which is our 60-second meditation, where we're releasing all the energies that are around and that have come heretofore to allow us to be absolutely present and truly absorb the nature of these communications from a depth within your own center, within your own being. Of course, being here in the physical is but a reflection of our presence around you and within you as always. However, that communication is necessary to take place in the most potent way through your sense of presence within the heart space. So at this moment, please allow your environment to be what it is. It's not necessary to shift anything. We only ask that you become still for about 60 seconds, relax the physical body, and allow yourself to close your eyes and breathe deep and connect with your own heart space with that intention, so we may connect with you and share our communication in this now moment. So 60 seconds, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you so very much for being here. Gently allow yourself to resense and connect with your own extremities, your legs and your hands, wiggling your toes and your digits in your hands, allowing your lungs to return to their normal intake capacity. Begin to open your eyes, turning to your physical vehicle in grace. Allow gratitude to exist as your mantra, not only this now moment, but the now moment that is eternity. The nature of our talk today is innocence. One of the pillars in being open and moving deeper and deeper into the new earth is the nature of innocence. An absolute requirement in moving gracefully back into the heavenly realms here in the physical. Know that all that has come heretofore is responsible for this now moment, and it is an absolute honor and gift to be here, to be alive, to be present on planet Earth, amongst the obvious deterioration and dissolving of that which is the illusion all around you, the expansion of an enlightened state that is taking place within you, and the absolute wonder that remains before you as an expression of Prime Creator here on the planet Earth. Innocence. Contextually described as a lack of guilt or corruption or purity. Guilt, shame, recollection, self-hatred, just a sense of presence. Before the ego mind's functionality, there was presence. The openness and willingness to receive beyond all judgment. The boundless wisdom of acceptance. The nature of a child. Unconditional love is the essence of infinite intelligence itself. It's about the universal recognition and acceptance of endless value in all there is. This is unconditional love. Endless value, a sense of acceptance of intelligence that remains the foundation of life itself. The entire universe, and being one interactive system that's based on our own design. It's an interactive system of our own design. System, a hologram, a movie reel, if you will. Of course, it's based on our own design. And that our own design, the intent of this design is self-realization. This is the nature of experience of life on earth, of life in general, at its foundation. Of course, it is constantly being influenced by our own free will and being a gift. However, this gift has the ability to influence based on the nature of everything being fluid, energy. Energy is us being the source of our experience. However, once again, by default, the foundation of the experience, the neutral position, if you will, of the experience remains based on self-realization. However, we have the ability to influence it with our own energy. The intent, our intentions, our actions, our decisions, our feelings are all factors that we have the free will to choose and embrace, which influence the nature of our design. And this design, once again, being an interactive system of our own design, which has an ultimate intent of self-realization. A self-run magnificence that we're here to experience. The mind and its functions has a purpose, but the desire to foresee its functions always falls short because it doesn't have the capacity to recognize and foresee the functions of infinite intelligence. Doesn't have the capacity to recognize that which we've created on a spiritual level from the space of infinite intelligence. We do this and we entertain this voice, this streaming, these thought patterns because of the programming of fear. This activity, this mental activity that we entertain, it makes something so easy, so simple to accept, extremely difficult. The blessing of analysis and mental function being a gift that we have, which has served its purpose to this point, is necessary for us to digress from and allowing the greater intelligence to do what it does or do its thing, if you will. When you become as a child and forget everything that you've learned, let it all go, to contemplate the present moment, the ghost, the illusions of all that you feel are in your way will go away. They will go away. To contemplate the present moment is to be here. The contemplation, if you will, is but the decision-making function of the mind identity that is being used in this present moment. However, while remaining here and operating fully from the heart space. Here's something to contemplate. The more you give control or hope, the desire to control, before we go there, the desire to control is to be enslaved by fear. Because once again, this is the mind's lack of capacity to recognize the nature and orchestrations of infinite intelligence. In layman's terms, the heart knows what's taking place, but the brain doesn't. The brain is scared of what it does not understand. The heart is responsible for these things. The heart is responsible for what may take place that you are not aware of, the pleasant surprises, sometimes the things that may not necessarily be of your preference that happen in life. However, of course, there are no happenstances and we are not victims. The heart is responsible for all of that which takes place. And on a broader scale, there is the wisdom and understanding and intelligence of recognizing the purpose of what takes place. However, of course, with the unknown, there is a sense of anxiety, and anticipation, and expectation. And to that comes this. The more you give control, and you step back from that which you intend to control, the more control you have. And this will fall into the category of what many will label as or see, not even label, well, many will see as this airy-fairy guru type approach to life, where we hear really beautiful quotes a lot that speak of the enlightened one being focused on service to others and neglecting oneself, or not even neglecting, but being absent of paying attention to one's own needs and being about allowing oneself to experience life through others, and allowing people to do what they will and accepting it and allowing them to make decisions. And this, once again, this is okay. However, of course, this is where you have the concepts of, we were talking about Jim Carrey earlier. Jim Carrey recently will come out and say, well, hey, I'm not Jim Carrey. That's just an identity. I'm not Jim Carrey. I'm this invisible fabric. Of course, the ego identity is still there. However, his personality shines based on his ability to let go of this personification and allow life or his essence to be expressed through life itself, and recognizing he is the source of everything that is taking place around him. And with such a detachment from one's own sense of being, your essence and personality shines through more than ever, because you've allowed life to express who you are in truth, and not having to give a lot of energy to the individual self. Once again, I'll just state that again. The more you allow and accept life and give infinite intelligence the control, the more control that you have, and the more your purity, your essence as an individual expression of the all shines through, the stronger your own sense of personal beingness, your own harmonic essence radiates and shines through your presence. This is a misconception of selflessness. The choice has been made. Within this octave of experience, humanity, Earth humanity, if you will, has been considered amongst the galactics to be in the third class of this octave phase. Of course, 7 harmonic experiences or cycles being experienced within this, on this plane of existence, and we're in the third grade. And of course, this third grade, if you will, resonates, is in alignment with the solar plexus. As we move out of that solar plexus phase of experience and move into the heart space, that unconditional loving center vibration, the higher density plane, the theme of the solar plexus remains the individual choice. This has been the theme. And of course, the harvest, if you will, that is marked by in time, in this timeline of 2012, the choice has already been made. And that choice is service to self or being based in service to others. Of course, self-preservation has its place. However, when one trusts and moves out of survival mode, one opens their heart and has a level of compassion and innocence to recognize that intelligence works. And as we serve others, we serve self, and self will be taken care of absolutely and naturally. Let's talk about some tools. The tools amongst this path of innocence that we speak on today. Innocence paves the path of unity consciousness. It is an aspiration of innocence. Once again, I'll say that again because it's so important to recognize that innocence is the pavement to the path towards unity consciousness. We remain forever young and reborn, a new day every day that we express and feel in gratitude, beyond separation, beyond judgment, where what is perfect, and love is this now moment. Gratitude is in recognition of life being generous and expressed with abundance for all, and never from a place of scarcity. Life is truly abundant and expressed in the trees that grow, the leaves that grow every year, the billions upon billions upon billions of blades of grass that humbly exist throughout existence, and we walk past and see it. But once again, those who are sensitive enough to recognize the energy that it takes, you can cut it and do whatever you like to do to it. However, once again, it continues to grow in ways that are inexplicable. Wisdom is expressed through our respect for all life and being intelligent. The rock that we may feel is in our way, the person that bumps into us, what we may perceive as blockage or problem. And I use that loosely, that which we may perceive as a problem. Wisdom has the ability to respect it and recognize that regardless of if we understand it or not, and recognize its place in our reality amongst our situation, amongst our circumstance, if you will, those one may label as negative people or those attempting to bring us down or haters and this, there is a wisdom which recognizes that infinite intelligence is working through them as well, and they're supposed to be there. However, our own ignorance is not able to recognize that intelligence which has placed them there for us to absorb and embrace as a reflection. Innocence caters to a lightheartedness. This is where you lighten up. That term is often used and is appropriately placed amongst English contexts. Lighten up beyond your rigidness. Life is an ocean. There are things that take place all the time. Mishaps, if you will, things that we consider to be mistakes or accidents or errors, they are expressions of that intelligence. Of course, once again, as we back up and lighten up and allow life to express itself as it does, we recognize the intelligence of all that is. This lightheartedness, this innocence, it allows us to quickly recover from our perceived failures, the misappropriation of our own imagination, our own energy, if you will, or perceived misappropriation. We're investing our energies in things that we are usually guided from our heart to embrace. And for the most part, a lot of times we run into dead ends, if you will, or at least it seemed to be dead ends. It's just that, of course, as we do these things, our sense of innocence allows us to lighten up, take our bumps and bruises, and get up again. Wipe it off. You get embarrassed. People say things, and there's judgments that are tossed around, but the more wise, the more dexterity and agility that you have as source, and being firmly rooted in the ground, like a tree amongst a storm or rain or snow or high winds, there's an ability to stretch and move. But again, the tree always returns to its center because it is firmly rooted in the ground. It remains present, unshakable, unmovable. It remains here. This is what innocence allows us. Sensitivity is expanded through our sense of presence. Presence is a very, very important aspect of innocence. Those who feel that the future is their primary focus feel that life is later. Well, the beginning of life will be later. There are those who feel that, especially amongst the religious types, no disrespect. However, within religious dogma, there is the idea that being here on earth is not life. It's just something that we're doing for now in order for us to experience life later after death. Oh, when I die and the gates of heaven open, this is where I will have a great time. And real life begins. I will be with God and the angels, and I will eat fruit and jump rope and have a great time. Once again, this is to assume that life is later. Those in the past have felt that their good days are behind them, if you will. The life that they've wanted to live has already passed. And for these people, they are merely waiting. They appear to be alive. However, they are merely waiting to physical death. They feel that life is already over, and they're waiting until they leave this plane, which is, to say the least, misplaced. Here is life, the gift. You are alive. This now moment is important. That's why it's called the present. In context, it is a gift. The appropriate word, and being but another synonym of a gift. The truth is here and available to everyone with intention, with the intent to see the signs, the symbols, the relationships we have, the events that happen in our lives, the totems that we may see and connect with, the spirit animals that appear into our life so integratedly, or in such an integrated way, so nonchalantly, the coincidences, if you will, that come about are all expressions of that intelligence and life communicating with us from beyond the physical senses, the ethers, if you will, the intelligence that is always communicating that which is this now moment in which we allow ourselves to be innocent and accept all that is taking place to be perfect. Let's talk about dissolving the ego mind, because once again, our innocence is based on the operating from the heart space. The ego mind thrives off of many things. For the awakened soul, for the newly awakened soul, the ego mind thrives in many ways off of spiritual pride. The I'm not good enough speech. This comes in many forms. The I'm not good enough speech is spiritual pride embodied in one or two sentences. And it is absolutely necessary to work on this and let this go. This is what's holding many back from meeting or moving into higher plateaus from our vantage point amongst humanity, especially amongst the newly awakened aspect of humanity, spiritual pride. appearance, being a neurotic, fear, doubt, age, intellectual references, the food that we eat, the human dependency on many different things, our relations, our emotional body. There's so many prerequisites that the ego mind feels is necessary for us to simply recognize ourselves as the creator. All of these prerequisites almost like pre-impose judgments in what we feel spiritual enlightenment looks like, what it sounds like, what it feels like, what an enlightened person eats, what it does, what it doesn't do. This is all the spiritual pride programs that exist within the mind identity that blocks us from truly just accepting ourselves and recognizing who we are as the creator. We feel that we have to work on this and stop doing this and stop doing that before we truly recognize ourselves and our divinity. Wouldn't it be crazy just to be free? To accept yourself and others beyond forcing yourself amongst these presupposed judgments of what unconditional love looks like, feels like, does. Once again, I go back to the mind identity itself, making that which is so simple, so easy to just accept, to be extremely difficult. The voice in your head that tells you to be careful, don't do this or that, watch out for ... these people, get away from those folks. These are all fear-based programs and projections. The ego mind's defense mechanisms have served us in such a way that has been about survival the entire time we've been here amongst the illusion. And once again, it has served itself in a way that is very helpful. However, once again, we're moving into or onto a path of mastery where it takes courage. It takes courage to be innocent. People will label you as being naive and irresponsible. It takes courage to trust the intelligence of life without protecting yourself. This is why this is a path of mastery. This is a matter of trusting yourself and your own intuition and that of others. This is fear disguised as care, concern, doubt, and worry. In actuality, it's misplaced care. Why? Because the care, the energy that we call care, is best invested in taking care of our own healing. taking care of our own fears. We feel that us placing our fears and our cares and our doubts and worries and concern on others are serving them, when in actuality, this energy is more wisely placed in continuing to heal ourselves, in recognizing the intelligence that is life, cultivating the nature of our own intuition, and trusting that those that we care about, they have an intuition as well. They have angelic guardianship just as we do. So as we heal ourselves and trust our own intuition, we can trust the intuition of those that we care about. And of course, by helping myself, I help everyone around me in all life itself, because who I am as source recognizes that the vibrational frequency of energy that I exist in, that I choose to remain in, dictates the nature and conditions of my experience. And this is at the precipice of that which is the path that we're experiencing. And once again, if it were easy, everyone would do it. Before we close this one out, let's speak to the fear of pleasure. Because we've experienced quite a bit throughout this roller coaster. And amongst all of these distortions, one may get caught up in the old programming of feeling that we deserve to suffer. We deserve to continue suffering, and it shouldn't be that easy. We should be in pain. That which is supposed to go wrong will go wrong. These are all easily accepted concepts and coined terms that we become comfortable with and are easy to accept. Because once again, the fear-based mind identity or ego mind feels that life is a horror movie instead of a love story. That could be further from the truth. That could be no further from the truth. Innocence is in your ability to truly enjoy yourself. Everything, all that you indulge in. These are the tools, the beauties, the joys of life. This is what we're here to embrace. All of it. Beyond judgment. This is the nature of innocence. We deserve, we are worthy. The frequency of guilt is what takes away our sense of innocence. The frequency of guilt is the closest resonant frequency that is the opposite or the polar opposite of the feeling of love. Because love is about being worthy. Once again, we talked about unconditional love being the universal recognition and acceptance of endless value in all there is. Endless value, endless worth in all there is. From within oneself and amongst all reflections. The closest feeling or frequency resemblance that is the polar opposite of that unconditional love is guilt. Some will say hate is the opposite of love, or fear is the opposite of love. However, when it comes to feeling, guilt is the closest opposite to the absence of love. This is the closest filter there is to the polar opposite of love as a frequency of being. It is the guilt that is the filter, the ultimate filter, and not fear. To assume that something is not worth love, when of course unconditional love is in recognizing that all is endless in value. So we may fear that we'll get sucked into our indulgences and the things that we enjoy. However, once again, this fear is an illusion and attempting to stop you and derail you from following your excitement and following your joys. This fear of pleasure is also in feeling that there's a divine hierarchy amongst the sky looking down on you and judging you in your state of pleasure, regardless of what pleasure that may be. On a physical sense, with the emotions, on the spiritual senses, we get into the state of pleasure and feel that we are being judged because of our own filters and judgments of what we do here, even especially when it comes to sexual expressions. This guilt, this shame, these are emotional blockages, and feeling that there's someone outside of us looking at us and saying, that's not good. I'm going to get you. Karma's coming to get you. And of course, this is an absolute expression of pure spiritual immaturity in its purest form. As a child, you must be in recognizing that freedom is not insecurity. And of course, freedom and for security is not an appropriate exchange at all. Never should one sacrifice their freedom for security. And this is what most humans do. And even if this security is in doing what is known, what can be calculated, what can be analyzed and held in one's hand, this insurance, if you will. I'll live a life like this because I know if this doesn't work, I can do this. I have insurance for this, or I can go this way. I have a security blanket, and this is how I choose to live my life. Versus the freedom of doing what you want to do at any given time. They said there is no life in the known. There is only life and zest and aliveness in that which is unknown. This is the nature of innocence, nature of infinite intelligence expressed through the innocence of being here and being willing to move and operate and experience the unknown wonders of the love that is. Thank you for listening. This is Let's Build. This has been our conversation on innocence. Of course, we will return with our in-house discussion here at the Rock. And I would love for you, Todd, to maybe join in the conversation with us when we get into that segment of the show. Just sharing some stories or whatever, if you will. Innocence. And once again, let's take a small break for some music. Let's see what we got here. Wow. Let's try Walking Home.
Now, how did you say that last step went? Oh, yes.
Yeah. Slow down. You gotta take it one step at a time, that's all. Walking home. Yeah. A small change. Look at the stars. Yup. I Enough work to put myself out of business. I'm not concerned with any profit or the folks' recognition. Collected knowledge from a college or some ancient religion. To be the smartest or the hardest in creative expressions, cause I'm a leader. The light that shine beyond competition. Hey look, I'm breathing. The miracle exists in the moment, and yo, I'm sober. I don't smoke or drink cause I'm happy in love with service. I don't pay for beats cause I'm ancient, I see illusions. Ownerships for poor people who sleeping, and yeah, I said it. The truth is just the truth, ain't no judgment, we just beings from the future moving in human bodies, rocking the parties. But sometimes I'm seeing the deepest depths of a sickness. Celebrating hatred, deception, and separation. Caffeine and alcohol mixed up and concentration. Mega lust and finding funny to take advantage of others. They do it in them suits, so I guess it's just business. I'm hearing all the slaves and braids, we getting money. They printed for that reason, for real manipulation. Got you tap dancing for paper, it's kinda crazy. I'ma ask you finish this verse through self-reflection. Yeah, I'ma ask you to finish this verse through self-reflection. Yeah, we'll reflect on that. Your turn.
Right on.
Absolutely. Love. Thank you, everybody, for joining us once again for our Let's Build. Thank you, Mel, for we may fear. There we go. No, it's all good, man. Absolutely. So, see, I had some, I had a question I wanted to ask everybody about. Let me see if I can remember. Okay, so welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. This is the open forum discussion here in the live from the raw. Once again, for our Let's Build. Our discussion today is on innocence. And yeah, once again, joining us today for our chat, our in-house discussion is, of course, overseas, Born 13, myself, and on the other end, Todd Medina, reporting live direct from Soulogy Studios. And of course, we are happy to have everybody here. And yeah, gentlemen, let's start, man. I'll start with you, CeeLo. Maybe I mean, at the end of the day, what I was wanting to do was get some describe or give us three attributes that you feel are strong points in your sense of innocence in life. Three feelings, three attributes that you have when it comes to being innocent within your life, that you feel are childlike, if you will.
Childlike.
Yeah, when you experience life, the three things that you express.
One of them would have to be I don't know how to put this in an attribute form. The joy I get from hearing children. I don't know. I always have this when I'm out. If I hear a baby crying or a child laughing or whatever, or when they're playing and stuff like that, the children are most likely oblivious to anything that's going around because they're in the little world of playing and having a good time. And when I hear this, I don't have to even see the children playing. If I hear it, it brings me back to myself of that state of innocence and already triggers a memory of me playing when I was a child. And it's like I don't know. It gives a sense of joy. It puts me back into that place for just a brief moment.
Mm-hmm.
Another one is for Innocence. I mean, it's in these past few months, I have to say, you're innocent. I mean, attributes is hard for
well,
me.
like it's like qualities you see in yourself. Like you know what I mean? Like
yeah, no,
I know you understand the text. It's just
like
it could be anything, like your acceptance of people, like easily trusting people.
Okay,
or
me
like,
being really
take people's word for things and all that kind of stuff. Like you know what I mean?
I would say me being open
Mm-hmm.
to people is still a big thing that I have. Even sometimes I'm more open to others than I am myself lately. But you know, just being able to recognize that in itself is a strength as far as I see. But another thing is I would say, oh man, seeing people for who they are, not for what they show or present. Like, what I mean is, like, you know, somebody could be driving around in a really nice fancy car, but you really don't know if they looking like they have a lot of money, but the reality sense is they could barely keep that pay that car note with the other bills that they got. But in your eyes, and
seeing through the personality,
seeing through the personality construct, and letting them know, like, I tell them, like, hey, I know what's going on. Like, you don't have to front in front of me.
Yeah, you're sensitive.
Yeah. Like
I see what this is.
It's all good. It's okay. Like, you know, for all I care, we can take the bus. You know what I'm saying? And right. Like for all I care, we can take the bus and ride flag. You can leave that Mercedes there and not waste no gas. Like we're going literally like 2 miles up the road, or we could walk because it's summertime. But I did have one thing I wanted to say. I thought about this all day because when you told me about the Let's Build, I saw the topic, and I thought about something. So in a sense, just one thing I want to say is like, when you look at a rose, like, you know, you see a rose, and I'm talking about a full rose, a full stem rose with the thorns and all the trimmings, right? And you look at it, the rose is beautiful. It's beautiful. It's elegant, and it's a state of purity. It's innocent, right? Well, what happens when you go try to pick that rose and you prick yourself? Now you just got hurt or pricked in that brief amount of pain. And some people will curse the rose or be like, God, you know, they make a noise or whatever. But that rose's innocence went away just for that brief moment because of your pain. But it still remains innocent even after that brief moment of pain. So I was thinking about that today. How
that's pretty hard, bro. It's hard.
hard. Yeah. You know what I mean? So yeah.
What about you, 13?
Yeah. Well, one of the qualities I have. Attributes I have. I'm always excited to try to not say stay young, but I'm always in the dance community. So one thing for me is always open for see what I can do as physically, which is always fun for me. So that's one of my major innocent things I do. I like to dance. And I'm really, really deep into the dance community, hip hop. So that's something I do. Other innocent quality I may have. Some of the things you guys had already mentioned named some of them that, you know, you can pretty much tell me anything and I'll believe you until I see it. Everything you can tell me. Last night you seen spaceships and whatever, and I'm down with you. But the moment I figure that's not what you really seen, then it's not to say we have a problem. It's just that you kind of like ruin it for me. You messed it all up. So that's one thing. I do take people on face value. Yeah. until proven otherwise.
No doubt.
And freedom is a lot to get. I think those are two major ones for me.
Okay.
And third one, innocence. I like the qualities in like some of my. I would say innocent for me is looking at family members.
Mm-hmm.
Family members are very, very important. And I mean, I'd say no one else is my family member, but I mean, more so my blood family member.
Yeah.
I'm very, very, I would say, protective of them, and I would call that innocence right there. It's not that I have a fear of losing family members. Just very, very protective of nephews, sisters, mothers, aunts, just really, really family oriented. So that's innocent for me.
All right. Yeah, what about you, T?
All right, man. Y'all hear me all right?
Yep.
Okay. Yeah, I love that word. I love that word. I really do. I was thinking about what I was going to say, and then 13 took it away from me, man. But no, the first thing that came to my mind was I love to sit here, and turn on my radio program, put on an instrumental, pull some lyrics out, and just go for it, man. To me, that's my innocence. I mean, I don't know. That's an expression, obviously, but so I would say creativity. Creativity. There's something to that. So then the second thing I would say is a lot of people know I've been celibate going almost 5 years now. I'm with Morgan now, and we're discovering it ain't gonna be much longer, but I hope she didn't catch it. But we're on this journey. Yeah, it's getting hot. But anyway, no, we're on this journey. It's a sacred sexual journey. It goes back to our ancestral roots, to our even beyond that. This is how we merge in the ethers. It's how we live and love and learn, and merging souls. And so we're on this path, man, and it's purely innocent. We hold hands and we come together, but we just leave that 3D out of it, and it's absolutely freaking extraordinary. I mean, it's just mind blowing. So that's innocence to me. And then I think the word, I've learned a respect for the word, because like 13 said, you trust people, and we've all been through that, and it's a new world today, but we were innocent. We are innocent, and so we carried that with us, and we believe everybody else was, and we know really they are. But I guess what I'm saying is, as I've come full circle, my innocence is power. It's straight up 100%, warrior, soft, hard, pure power. It's pure power. And when when I'm in my innocence is when I'm in my greatest power, to me. I mean, that's just me. So that's what I got. I just yeah.
The last one, a big one. That's a doozy. That's a doozy. Like, just
it's a beautiful word, man. It's a beautiful word.
It is. Because once again, it's a detached sense of power. You're aware of it, but it's not necessarily like a power over or against anyone. It's just a pure sense of presence, and personal acceptance and authenticity.
Yeah.
And this is where that power resides. It's just being yourself, and not necessarily like concerning yourself with judgments. Like, I'm here, and kids, when you put kids on the bus or whatever, and they like, hey, hello, and like talking to everybody and whoever, they don't care like who it is or like what mood they're in, or attempting to filter what's going on with them. They just, hey, what's going on? Hello, like touching people, or like conventional, whether it's social manners, or whatever. They just, open. Hey, it's me. Yeah. What's up? Like, that's cool. So actually, I think that's. I'm gonna take that one. That's one of mine.
Yeah,
that's one of mine.
Yeah, cool.
The power. That's once again, and it's it's internal and expressed and radiated throughout my environment. You know, it's not necessarily like I'm into, you know, control people, but once again, I embrace and accept myself, and I cultivate that and allow it to overflow because I recognize that energy within is having an effect on others and giving them permission to embrace their own power, their own personal sense of power and self-acceptance. You know what I mean? So
right on.
That oh Lord,
At the right time.
What's good, Amon?
Man, what's on, Monroe? What's happening? Yeah, I like that song. Six Cents. 6 cents.
Yeah.
I don't know if you can ask me about Innocence.
So hold up, team. We having a discussion, bro. Maybe you can chime in now. I'm asking people what are the 3 qualities you see in yourself that what's a reflection of your innocence? Like childlike attributes that you still have in yourself as a man. Like it's still things that you still have your innocence with. 3 things.
I care, even if it don't seem like it. I care. It might not seem like it. It's tough love.
Yeah.
Oh man, attributes. It's an attribute.
Like stuff you had like as a kid that you still have now. Like, you know what I mean? Like him being a naive kid, going to hang out with people, believing what they say, or stuff like this.
I'm optimistic still.
Tight.
And I've been going through this a lot about people putting themselves down, about the negative things that they say about the outcome of the situations that they're in.
Yeah.
It bothers me when people are so negative. So
you need to have more.
Got him.
You don't like you being negative.
I don't like you being negative to yourself. You need to put me down, fine. But when you put yourself down, it bothers me so much. You need to be more creative. You got to be more creative.
Yeah, one more.
Oh man, I don't know. Yeah, it's hard to put my name on it. Got cares. I hate negativity. People being
Positive.
Like you be doing stuff with your kids though, right? Like
It was something that they got.
you still play? Like you play with the kids and stuff? Like
yeah, of course. I mean, I do things with them that I used to do and that I enjoyed back then. All right, and back then I pushed the boundaries.
yeah.
And it brought me to where I'm at today. And I don't know fear. I understand fear, but at the same time, I know how to push a boundary to a certain extent. So I can basically find my powers and my strengths on how far that I'm willing to go. Right? And I push this time him. Even when Sammy broke his leg, he was scared to walk on it. I put him through that rehab to be like, okay, you know that leg is not gonna break when you walk. Stretch it out. I gave him not even a false sense of hope, but just a sense of hope. Powers of
Trusting himself.
Trusting himself to be able to push himself. Like, all right, I'm gonna listen to Daddy. No, don't listen to Daddy. Listen to me.
Nice.
You know you know wrong. Don't listen to me. Just tell yourself what you know.
It's hard.
It's hard. Yeah, just passing it on. Pass on peace. Pass on the love. Pass on positive thinking, optimism.
That's tight.
Right.
All right. Well, like I said, I expressed the sense of power. Another one would be I see everything as possible. Everything's possible for me.
Yeah.
Everything's possible for me. I love dreaming, imagination. When somebody say I can't do something, I'm very happy because I know I can then. And it's just giving me power to do it. I'm like, okay, cool, it's tight. I'm glad, you're basically showing me something that people don't necessarily see as possible, and I see an opportunity in that because, like, at the end of the day, like, as you know, and being renegades and, you know, pathfinders, we're here to show the possibilities amongst humanity that people don't consider possible. Here to do the things that are impossible. And that's like, you know, once again, it's opportunities for us. So I'm like, yo, that's nice. I'll give it a try. And of course, the last thing is just unconditional love. And I feel like that has its foundation in compassion and empathy. I have so much compassion and empathy for everybody because I know everybody's doing their best. They're trying their best. And that's all that life can ask from them. So when a person's going through something, or, you know, they express things that aren't necessarily in alignment, I recognize that that's where they are. That's their cap. And we have to express it. We have to accept that. And it is what it is. And once again, like, I could place myself in another person's shoes really, like, extremely easily. And that's what allows me to do the greatest work, is being able to put myself in other people's shoes. I'm like, yes, I can do that. I get it. I totally get it. So when they explain things, that sometimes I might not necessarily resonate with the activity itself, but at the same time, I can see where you're coming from. I'm like, okay, you know what? I understand why you like that. I get it. That's cool. You know, go in that direction. And I feel like a lot of the work that we do here, and amongst our collective, I respect so much because we do a lot of work in the dark. Yes. And pause, yeah, don't and I love doing the work. I love doing the work in the dark. Yeah. Because this is where the light is needed the most. So amongst the things that are condemned by the constructs of social norms, like homeless people, the kids, the pimps, the hoes, we around gangsters and dudes that snort coke and all this, like, we do, like, it's folks, like, I've always been around this stuff my entire life, and I've been amongst the hippie community, and everybody's rainbows and butterflies and meditating, and, you know, and I experience that environment. I enjoy it because it's beautiful, it's nice. But at the same time, when I'm in these rough environments, I feel alive. Yeah. And this is where I like to give out crystals. This is where I like to talk about meditation and all of this new age stuff. Like, I get into it because I'm able to express it in that particular vernacular that they understand and they can resonate with. And it's like, bro, if you do this, such and such will happen. And like, oh, that's crazy. That's crazy. I like that. And it's like, when you're in these environments, it brings it brings such a deep sense of excitement and fulfillment for me to do this kind of work in those environments. So, like I said, this brings out a sense of innocence in me and enjoyment in me doing that kind of work, or doing this kind of work in those environments. So one more question from everybody, man. If there was one thing, one innocent quality or attribute that you can adopt or improve on right now, what would it be? See?
Improve on right now.
Yeah, like if it was something that you could bring back from your childhood, like a you know what I mean? Like anything. It could be like fearlessness, or just open-heartedness, or joy. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like something that's innocent, like one thing that you can bring back or work on right now that you would have. Like, what would it be?
I would say actually, fearlessness is
that's a big one.
It's a big one. I think a lot of adults now, like, they lost that. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? But yeah, I definitely lost that. Like, there's some things where I'd be like, let's go. I'm like, nah, it ain't happening. like that, like on Rush Hour 2, when Chris Tucker saw that dude fall down from the bamboo and he was gonna go chase Jackie Chan up the bamboo. He was like, No, I ain't going. I'm taking a stance. Yep, exactly. Some things I'll be like, it ain't happening. I'll see you later. I'll take the other route.
13.
Yeah.
Listening more.
All right. Todd?
Yeah, I'd say Melissa was just sending me a note. I would say not judging.
Todd.
You know,
Todd.
Yeah, a kid only judges what resonates with them or what doesn't resonate with them. And that's and we're all, I know in my own life I've gotten better and better and better and better at not being judgmental. Not that I had a big problem with it, but we all had that conditioning. But I'd have to say, that would be the one thing I'd want to pull back. I'd want to have that intact, so I wouldn't have to worry about it, and then this thing would be full of ease and grace. None of that in your face stuff. Because I get, you guys do too, I'm sure. I get hit every day, man, and I'm cool with it. I'm good with it. I just don't answer. If I get somebody coming at me, I'm just like, no. But at the same time, I actually have a situation right now. So I want to handle this with that non-judgment that we had back then. This is great. This is perfect timing. So I've got somebody close to me. I hadn't spoken to him in quite a while coming at me. And, it's going back to what he said too about the fearlessness. You've got to be strong in the I am soul. You got to be strong in your innocence, and sometimes you got to get to a point where you got to have a conversation. So I want to go into this conversation, and now that I've aligned with y'all, I'm going to go into this conversation with no judgment and say what I got to say, out of love. Yeah, that's mine.
I just had it. I was listening too deeply to you, Todd.
I was ready to get it, yo. I was about to get it. I was like, wait, no, go ahead, bro. I'll bring it out. Go ahead. I gotta bring it back up.
You know what? I gotta get what Todd was talking about, man. The judgment thing is something that that's a huge hurdle. Not that I'm necessarily like judging people. It's the filter. You like for the most part go through life, and it's all these like you've had all these experiences where you've met people of a particular archetype, if you will, and the signs and energy and essence of the individual shines through, and you kind of start to calculate analytically the archetype of that particular personality and that particular person or what they're doing or whatever. Like you try to basically, run a diagnosis on a person that you meet. And for the most part, this is, it's somewhat judgmental because you don't necessarily know the person. But of course, all of the sensations and mannerisms and stuff trigger memory from your memory bank of this stuff and people, the type of people that you've experienced in your life. And it's like, okay, cool. He's kind of like this kind of dude. Or this dude's like a Dewan dude, or whatever. I'm saying, like, I'm saying the names out there, but you know what I mean? Like, it's just all these pre-registered personalities and mannerisms and things that's
kind of sort of normal to do that to a certain extent. Not fully, but at the same time, it's like you said, it's pre-registered. Yeah, it's just like going in basically music programs. Yeah, and you got these presets.
Yeah, the presets or filters and all that kind of stuff.
And that's kind of what's in us, but at the same time, we're able to pull back.
Yeah, no doubt,
and pull some of the things out of those presets.
No doubt,
and that's it ain't totally blank.
True. Okay,
some of the things are there. So I wouldn't really see it as we're not going to judge me. Yeah. At least we try not.
Yeah.
We joke around and all that stuff.
Yeah, no, we throw jokes and stuff. That's
the presets are there. But We know how to pull out some presets and
pull it back. Like, okay. Like, I just feel like it'd be easier to just like kind of like be present if those filters weren't there. Like it'd be easier just to like sit and absorb a person's energy from a place of deeper purity and more wisdom when you don't have all the presets. So pre-notion about the individual personality. I mean, it served, like you said, their purpose to a certain sense, but then it's like you got to pull back and then take out some of the plugs. You know what I'm saying?
Judgment party. Judgment party. We gonna have these stickers on your chest. How good you are, how fucked up you are. Sorry.
Judgment party.
Everybody's judging each other. If you guessed it right, you want a prize.
You got bills. And, you probably got 3 ex-girlfriends.
Like, all right, you got 2 out of 3. I mean, yeah.
That's pretty cool though. I ain't gonna part of the judgment party. I don't think nobody. I wouldn't come. Oh, when the judge. But team that you have one,
I think mine was. I would probably like to be maybe a lot more. I think I used to be shy when I was a kid. Mm-hmm. So me being shy caused me to be quiet, which means I didn't give people the notion that I was better than them and smarter than them and all kinds of stuff. Because right now, how we come across when we talk to people, I don't know about you all, but people kind of like not shut down, but it digs inside of their arrogance and self-esteem that automatically puts you on a pedestal that you didn't put yourself on because of how you speak and how you portray yourself. You walking around like I'm shining. But it hurts.
You reveal their low self-esteem. You're shining so much. Like you reveal their insecurities.
And it bothers people. And then when they speak to you, it's like, you think you're this, and then it's like, no, I
no, you telling me how I'm making you feel. That's what it is.
Yeah, I'm like, I ain't saying nothing against you. I just feel good about myself.
Yeah.
Well, it's because you from Europe, you from Germany. No, I just feel good about myself. I'm just gonna shut up. That's some hood. That's right. Super hood. Shut up.
Oh, okay. From Europe with Europe. So now you think
So if I was shy, express myself, just walk around, feeling good, like how I did, How I would be laid back and I would be speaking to dude in the back, just chilling.
So you use it to grow women and stuff.
Okay, tight. All right, man. So, I mean, that was a great discussion, fellas. Do y'all have anything to add, man?
That was good. Let me just say one thing. Melissa sent me a note, and we're just getting the bugs worked out. But the way this works when you're in a group, you can't comment unless you go to the live in the group and watch it from within the group. And that you're a member of the group. So those of you, and I recognize some of you that can't comment, you'd have to go to the group, Universal Brothers Circle, watch the live from there, and if you're in the group as a member, then you'd be able to comment. So that was it. You got another song?
Yep.
Is that what you said? Let's see. Which one was it?
It's cool because it's on.
Let's do honestly. Let's do honestly.
Oh, then you didn't do that right.
No. Who was that? Maybe Angel? Maybe he probably was on the Hannah House.
Yeah, it's like that. Hold on, show. Back out a little black cat with the lime mane and the dope sack. Give it now crack to the game break like my first Nintendo. Wow. Keep it simple, I'm being gentle. Ellie 5 essentials of developmental. Professor L2 for the gift. Light sharing on the hell planes and keep it so pimpin'. Light coast be so prolific, still dripping sauce like Bo Dick. Southside when I go get them, still G4 2 milk. G4! Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, you can feel it flow. I'm making boats of photons that are beyond eon with the gold nails. I'm 44 when I stand up, out here on my Farrakhan. That's a bro for the goo nails. Come off like a toupee, blue suitcase with the gold grip, and I pop up like I break dance, but y'all start tripping. Feather pen with that crystal mic and food start dipping. Start dipping. Boom sticker, BB's on elite, cause the TV can't see me. Come on, comfy. I love for the free ski when I release. 3-0 when I CP, that's all going on every R2 when I DB. She said that home's not me. Skywalk with the 3P, 3333, say cheese. Sending messages on the ground, doing what we do though. Man, the rash top, bro, I'm reppin' G-Bo. Angels all around me, bird game, we throw them popo. Universal brothers and them sisters, yo, you know us.
My dad tells me the truth. You know what he said? He told me Goonies never say die. Come on, guys. This is our time.
One more time, son. Just like that.
What's up?
It's the heaven. Try to help. Yo. I be giving vivid when I'm representing for the tumor vivid. Yo, watch me back down. The retreat will see deep. Caramel and chocolate. That's a Snickers. Satisfied bills. Someone let you when I make it on the record. I'ma set a couple records for my Sonic and Ninja. Catch your motherfuckers like I'm doing calisthenics. They looking at me crazy cause I'm on another level. Yo, I do the Cuban shovel with the mother up and down. Nigga time to switch a brother with some water in the shower. Yo, a special kind of rebel. I be there with my vessel, bro. Triple bam bam. Nigga, no ropes on my throat. Let the sauce drip on my clothes. Yeah, when the light hit, it look gross. Ruby real and sloppy. Yo, white bread, we do the most. It's bragging, yo, she your solar. Run this wet and aroma. Set that is rolling next to expressing depths of that feminine. As an ice set on my cinnamon is Zimmerman with the toast crunch. Yo, hide your kids and hide your wife when I'm on the mic, boy, you're so dumb.
You are so dumb. You are really dumb. For real. So you can run and tell that, homeboy.
You heard? So, ladies and gentlemen, once again, welcome back to Let's Build. Of course, today's discussion is on Innocence, and we have a full house today. Of course, it's Born 13. We got Amun Ra overseas in the building. Marcel and them just jumped in the spot. Come on, bro. Check yourself out. Say hi, man. It's all good. Salute.
Hello.
Okay, cool. We here once again. We just had our open forum discussion here at the Ra, sharing some of our experiences with Innocence and the attributes there is where we feel some of the things that we feel are prominent in our adult personalities that are in alignment with our sense of being as a child. And of course, with this process, this healing process, we are releasing some of the programs and defense mechanisms and things that have come with cultivating the ego mind, hearing the illusion, as we've experienced it. And now as we heal, of course, we are releasing some of these things and moving back into the heart space. So having the courage to move back in the heart space and operate from that place of pureness and being beyond the shame and guilt of the mind identity and all its preconceived notions as to the nature of morality and what we're here to do in one's own sense of being. So, of course, this portion is where we address any of your inquiries, comments, and of course, if you guys have any stories that you'd like to share with the community, now would be the time to do so. We are open to them. Of course, we are broadcasting from our UBC group page. It's not, of course, we never really advocated having to join any group or like the page, whatever the case may be. However, of course, to comment for this particular lesson build, it's necessary for you to be a member of the group to comment. And of course, in our comment section is where we are addressing any of your inquiries or sharing your stories. So for those of you that have joined the group, we really appreciate it. This is the portion where we discuss some of your inquiries and any stories that you have to share with us. Unfortunately, Todd, I don't. Well, Corey, you got the
art. Yeah.
Okay, cool. That's what's up. Cool, yeah. Cool. All right. So, like I said, this is our portion where we address any of your comments and inquiries. So,
let me see if I can see a story. I know somebody shared something. I think it was Carrie Chu. Yeah. So. This was earlier when we were having our discussion about Innocence, and Carrie Chu, she told us that her baby niece Chloe is a very joyous light being, so much love, purity, and innocence as she shares her smiles and laughs unconditionally. Makes me so happy beyond words. She is rocking it, raising the vibration everywhere she happens to be, with some days nearly shouting, yelling light codes with star languages. That's a happy child right there. Shout out to baby niece Chloe.
Absolutely.
I don't know how if she's a toddler or still an infant or what, but I'm pretty sure a toddler. She's shouting.
Yeah, most definitely. Yeah, most definitely. How vibrational beings still coming in.
Yeah, here we go. She shared it again. Yes, Carrie. Thanks, Carrie, for sharing that.
Yeah, thank you once again, Carrie, for sharing that.
Big ups to London.
Most definitely. Todd mentioned before our broadcast that they were going to do a show on July 7th in London. And of course,
I want to say you said next month on the 11th.
Well, next month on the 11th. That was the first one. I think they were doing it in the States.
Yeah, stateside.
Stateside is next month on the 11th of June. However, they will be doing one live here in Europe on the 7th of July in London. And it's very well possible that we may join that show. Keep our fingers crossed. And if all is in divine alignment, of course, we will be doing some traveling. We will see you, Londoners.
Might get a show up there.
Yeah, possibly. Possibly. What's up, G?
And let me see if any questions are coming through.
It doesn't look like they just talking.
No. I don't have anything here. I don't know if Todd has it. It's different on his or what.
Sure.
Like he might get different because this is off his direct page or what?
No. He did it off of I made him admin on Universal Brothers.
Oh, so you just put the open the video.
And open the video in there because I guess it's already down today.
So Universal Brothers, Steve?
Huh?
Universal Brothers.
Yeah, I'm on the live vid right now.
Yep, if you on live vid. So once again, ladies and gentlemen, if you guys don't have, or when you have questions, please feel free to post them in the comment section. We're still here, ready to address any questions or inquiries that you may have on the nature of innocence. Of course, once again, we express that innocence remains within a state of presence where you're beyond considering the future and the past, being here in the present moment and allowing and trusting and being open to the intelligence that is life, and where you exist in this presence, you once again you will experience the magical nature of existence itself and being and embracing that sense of presence. So of course it's a natural aspect of this unfoldment. And it takes a lot of courage to do so because, for the most part, it doesn't make sense. And those who are well settled into their mind identity will consider your actions and decisions and all that you do in operating from such a nature to be held as or recognized as irresponsible. However, once again, this is the nature of mastery. And of course, these judgments are only reflective of the ego mind's immaturity in labeling that which it does not understand. So,
Mel says her innocence is derived off her trust, forgiveness, and her patience.
Nice. She can forgive, she's patient, and she trusts his life. And this is these are all aspects of that innocence. Once again, innocence is it paves the path to unity consciousness. In recognizing all is the one. And these are the qualities that are assisting you in embracing such a state and being able to commune and relate to others. All of these attributes that we're all stating, this trust, this patience and forgiveness and personal power and openness and fearlessness and creativity and acceptance. All of these attributes are all aspects of experiencing more and more of a sense of unity, of recognizing all its reflections in who we are as one family. So once again, this is the foundation of such a path. And as we choose and make the choice and continue to make the choice to be of service to others here within this plane, we are ready to move on to the fourth class of this octave and being the golden age of Aquarius and consciousness and being that of the open heart space. The green chakra is the foundation of this age that we're experiencing, this transition that we're experiencing.
Triple A stepped in the building earlier.
Yo!
And he made a comment surprisingly. Pam is in the building.
All right.
Traveling all the time, huh?
You did?
Yep. Let me see. Ingeborg Baum.
Yeah, on the sun.
Yes.
Denmark in the building.
Yeah, Denmark in the house.
Oh, Sweden? I want to say Sweden, bro.
Sweden. I think Sweden, right?
Yeah.
Norway.
Cool out there.
Yeah, she said, I'm working with disabled kid youth. They hold a very pure innocence, reaching into different realms. I'm grounding them as they are teaching me to center myself, to love, and be in the now. Oh, disabled kids, yeah, that's a whole
absolutely. Whole different ball game. Once again, we really appreciate your work and all that you do and holding the light. Once again, we communicate quite often, and the nature of the beauty that she expresses is absolutely amazing. So,
affirmation.
Yeah, go ahead, share that, bro.
Linda Starcy Scott.
Thank you, Linda.
Yes, all inner childs at present, showing us all our own innocence and a lot of releasing hurt from this. Everyone in heart space, all aspects of heart, self and heart going into crown space. Heart space going into crown space. The heart to the crown.
From the heart to the crown. That is a dope hook. See, always being creative.
We might. Thank you, Linda. We might have to. Go ahead and use that. We'll give a shout out. Don't worry about that. Tag it.
From the heart to the crown, baby. Yeah. What else you got?
Melissa says, "Loving yourself in life is innocence."
You heard? That's that personal power. Todd was talking about loving yourself in life is innocence. This is so.
And then Carrie Chu, my innocence is in seeing the good in everyone.
Absolutely.
And compassionately sharing my joy with them with an open heart. I also appreciate the beauty of nature and that its creations are boundless. Amazes me every day. Recently, my star family ship seeing very near my home. Gratitude. Carrie, I do want to go visit because we've seen them all the time. Like,
well, no, that's the heart chakra right there.
Yeah, so yeah, Carrie, we'll have to kind of make that visit because I want to see them ships you're talking about, and I'm gonna believe you, and I'm also try to continue to believe you because I'm
So-
gonna see it right there.
Actually, I did want to. That was one thing that we kind of. I don't want to say we neglected it, but we haven't necessarily mentioned it. The innocence of connecting with nature is. This is absolutely boundless. This innocence and connection with nature, because once again, there is a sense of beingness and belonging when it comes to connecting with nature, as children do here on the planet. There is a youthful essence in truly appreciating the flowers, the trees, and the grass, and the insects, and moving away from killing bugs and stuff like that. Like that innocence and that curiosity. These are like attributes of a youthful innocence, where you respect nature, you respect life. This goes under wisdom and being a reflection of one's respect for life itself. And of course, nature plays a great part of that. So I'll give a shout out to all the people out there who are truly embracing nature and connecting with the grid and sharing crystals amongst our reality and with others. Like these things are within the space of innocence, because you're dealing with intangible properties and energies that only a high level of sensitivity and true wisdom could actually recognize and hold as valid. And of course, that innocence is in having the courage to share such an intangible sense of intelligence with others. Like, actually having the courage to share a crystal with someone and say, well, hey, this will help you with these emotions, or this physical ailment that seems very real, or this sense of fear that seems very, very real to you. This stone can play an integral part in assisting you in healing that. But once again, a person has to be sensitive and innocent enough to trust and see an intelligence in that. Mm-hmm. So once again, big shout out to all who trust and embrace Gaia as a conscious being, or beingness, which is the host of our experience here on the planet Earth. Straight up.
Pamela with a question. Mm-hmm. People used to call me naive. Mm-hmm. It's gone. Will I return to this way of being? The unseen was so exciting to me. Okay. Really being naive.
Absolutely. Enjoy it. She said it's gone though, right?
It's gone. She's wondering if it ever come back.
Oh, okay. There's always a possibility. However, once again, we enjoy this moment and appreciate it the way it is right now. This is what this is about. Once again, we're happy that you continue on this path beyond the judgments being projected in your direction. However, remaining present is a daily work. It's a daily practice of grounding. And once again, regardless if it comes back or not, you're in a mature space of being able to trust yourself and handle it if it does, So you're still here and you're still expanding. So continue on that vein, if you will, and trust in yourself. What you got, bro?
Right on.
Ingo asking, how do I feel my innocence? She said, it's a feeling felt, a wave of bliss, a divinity, expression, a God expressing, a true face, and a natural feeling. But that's a good question. How do you decipher it? How do you feel your innocence?
Through being present. The moment you attempt to decipher your innocence, you move into a place of analysis, which is not innocence. The moment you attempt to pinpoint and say, oh, this is innocent. I'm innocent now. Relax.
The glove don't fit.
When you hear and you're following your excitement and doing what you love to do and just going with the flow. Like one thing you can do is when you're able to when you're able to step back for a moment and recognize that you have disregarded your schedule and timelines and things that you're supposed to do and you got to do and this, like you catch yourself being innocent. You just but once again, this is an aspect of healing. Every now and then we in our heart space and we're in it having such a great time in our space of equilibrium. And then, once again, we'll snap to and pop back up into our mind space. And then it's like, oh, I forgot I got to do this or whatever. You try to re-catch yourself and, jump back on schedule and get things organized again. But this is showing you're making that shift and you're becoming more and more comfortable in your heart space. Mm-hmm. And that's a clear indicator that you're continuing to move back into your center when you are just doing the work and enjoying the work in the space that you're in. Like before we started, the Let's Build today, you know what I mean? Todd was like, I was out, you know what I mean? This. He was into what he was doing. Mm-hmm. He was in his heart space. He was having a good time. Like it's work and addressing and talking to people and trying to do all this stuff and organize this stuff, but he's in a space of equilibrium where he's enjoying what he's doing. So it's like an open-hearted activity. And then it's like, hey, bro, what's good? Oh, I forgot. Mm-hmm. I was what I was doing. Right. You know what I'm saying? Like I was having a good time. I mean, it's work, but I was into it. And of course, like the hour, the time zones and all that kind of stuff, that can get confusing. But at the same time, still, he wasn't necessarily in a space of analysis, you know what I mean? And this is where you can easily tell that you working from the heart space. And the more we do that, the more we kind of have to snap ourselves out of it. I mean, my girl came to pick me up today and I was busy writing, getting the bill together. And she's like, hey, so I'll be there in 5 minutes. Like, oh man, you know what I mean? Like, but I'm enjoying my work, So this is a clear indicator. It's just, once again, we move away from that analysis and just trust it. Where innocence doesn't necessarily, it's so natural, it doesn't necessarily need a label. It's just a sound vibration that we use to describe an essence of our being, or a particular essence of our being that's natural. So that is to answer that question.
Valerie Ames says, innocence is ground zero.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. Ground zero. Big.
Oh, Andrea says, I love my innocence. All I do, I try never to belittle or judge another. I try to respect and honor those. Mm-hmm. Andrea?
Absolutely. Love, Andrea. Thanks for chiming in, girl.
Inga shared again, one of my disabled students titled himself as a dragon from the dragon realm. Mm-hmm. And she said, yeah, I could see that. And he does see me. This recognition goes beyond this realm of earth. I know many of my students hold a very special vibration, indeed. And that's needed right now.
Beautiful. Yo, thank you for sharing that, Ing.
But other question. Everybody just
okay. Easy enough. So yeah, I think we can take one more break just to give a little bit of time for any latecomers with any questions or whatever that we can address. However, yeah, let's get into another song, man. Maybe Trust Self Part 2 might be a good song. We'll go into this song, take a small break for a lead, and then we'll come back and like I said, we have any more inquiries or stories or questions in
we are your ascended masters. At the moment, some wondrous events are manifesting, and this set of events is reaching its climax with the finishing of the Global Currency Reset GCR. Now, these global distributions are to be the death knell for the American de facto regime and its dark companion, the European Union.
Yeah.
This is also a period filled with the final preliminaries to our long-awaited mass landings.
Look, just touched down, yeah, deep with the bleed. Cool a couple days, went from flick in a week. Hey, hashtag homeboy, 144. Shadow so bright like the sun in the bed. the snow. We locked in and ready to go. Star season indigo. ET's lined up. We all angels on the floor. Gold, blue, diamonds for. We ain't playing this command. 2 million starships. So looks like we about to land. Yo, Big Bang Sean, this is a Big Bang product of my human body. I'm making it pop like it's nothing else. Manifesting for a better, I'm straight enjoy. Yeah, knew it was coming soon and now going in. Out of sight when I write for the right on the mic. Hold the sight, you can keep your vibe. Keep that. Ain't coming down none. We on the ground bumping. God ain't tripping, got a rock on the rhythm like I know this song. This my jam, yeah, man. Yeah, God, ain't gon' act like it ain't been hard. I ride the wave to show the ego that I'm Lord. I couldn't chill, just got money, but I had a choice to take the lead or keep frontin' here with my boys. Ain't no bump, you come what you want. I'ma do my thing, rockin' this fly on my heart. Come on. Lost crib, car, and a queen. See my dreams by enemies. Quit my job, y'all ain't slaving me. Pop got a new recipe. It's real life, he ain't feeling me. You know them bros is ETs. You still watching that TV? Come on, man. Please. Hey.
These landings are to bring you our mentors in the time for you to learn in depth about each other.
Hey!
Much of what Atlantis stood for in its last days needs to be fully revealed. Humanity was firmly at the mercy of the Dark Anunnaki. Heaven had given them a clear-cut dispensation to rule this surface world until that time when Heaven decreed otherwise. We rejoice in the fact that our space families have come under the special guidance of Heaven. We are now on the verge of events that are to transform this dark realm and permit us to teach you about how you arrived at your current situation, and for the ongoing defeat of the dark and the blessed transformations that are currently underway. We thank all of you as well, and daily bless what presently is occurring around this wondrous orb. Your wondrous positive energies are making a difference. Combined with those of your brethren, they are allowing monies to be distributed, new financial systems to form, and a new governance to be disclosed. We are now teetering on the edge of a long-awaited era when peace, freedom, and prosperity reign. Take this precious time to salute yourselves and know deep in your heart that Heaven heard your plight and has duly acted. This has now been done, and their great works are beginning to force the differences required to end your long nightmare of limited consciousness. You are on path toward full consciousness, and the isolating of those whose unholy arrogance has kept you from your promised blessings and much needed freedom. We also welcome this, as it allows us to move with you to a next level of galactic freedom and responsibility. Know, dear ones, that the countless supply and never-ending prosperity of Heaven are indeed yours. So be it Salamat Gajan. Salamat Jah. Syrian for be one, and be enjoy.
I'll call on the God of love and fertility.
Absolutely. You dig? Once again, ladies and gentlemen, thank you all for joining us here at the Let's Build. Of course, today's subject matter is the nature of innocence. We've had beautiful discussions, a great seminar here live at the Raw. Of course, we have been addressing your comments and inquiries in our comment section for the last about 30 minutes already. Do you have anything new, CeeLo?
Nothing. No, nothing really much. No. Just a couple comments here, Carrie.
Okay.
Carrie, exciting times. We are all in, joyous. I can feel my heart open more and ready to see more ships and meet my galactic families. They are now very close to us all. Joyous. And from Ingeborg Bang, by the way, calling her Inga, as many do, are calling on the God of love and fertility. From the Northern Myths. This is from the Northern Myths, so you can call on her male aspect. So I guess for what do you call it? The masculine
counterpart.
Yeah.
Got you. Okay. Cool, easy enough. So let's slide this back a little bit so everybody on screen. So let's see. So once again, ladies and gentlemen, innocence is lack of guilt or corruption, the purity. Before the ego mind's functionality, there was presence. The openness and willingness to receive beyond all judgment, balanced wisdom of acceptance. Unconditional love is the essence of infinite intelligence itself. We must recognize that unconditional love is about the universal recognition and acceptance of endless value of all, and sensing the intelligence of life itself. This openness, this sense of being, this awareness, it's all aspects of your being that were there from birth. And of course, in entering this open-hearted new reality of divine wonder beyond all comprehension that we know of consciously within this dimension, is necessary for us to release all that we've learned for an acceptance of that which is. This makes that which is easy to accept, that which is simple to digest, extremely difficult when we're dealing with the my identity. So once again, it's necessary for us to release this and allow ourselves the ability to experience our own design, our own wonder, our own joy from a place of childlike wonder and zest. This is the nature of innocence. Thank you so very much for everybody participating. Once again, big shout out to Mel for holding us down with the playlist today and doing our administration, for uploading our videos and sharing links and lyrics to songs on our comment section and administering everything. Thank you so very much, Todd, for holding us down with the engineering today, playing our songs and keeping us on board and sharing what we have to share with all throughout all the networks. A great honor to do so, as always. Big up to everybody joining us here, of course, 113 for coming through. God, I'm Rob, overseas. Yo, Marcel, definitely in the building. Here, of course, in the new earth. Always a great honor, always a great pleasure. Who we are of the angelic realms of the Galactic Council of the Galactic Federation of Light. We bid you fair due. Who I am as your commander, Ashtar. We love you always. Thank you for being here.
Right on. No más.
Are we good?
I got one more.
I present to you a composition I like to call On. Similar to a light switch. Once it's on, there is no off. There is no going back to the darkness. Just light a match. There is no darkness. There's only the light. No matter how small or large, there's the truth. The truth for you. I'd like to give a big shout out to the mirror. A beautiful creation in which I realize sometimes men take matters into their own hand. Truth. Jump. Salute the free one time, yo. Steady. Stellar. Yeah. The tipping point of an avalanche, showered in abundance that was brightened on a planet overseas that was coming to fruition. Let me listen to the essence of the static that I listened to the interference. I was getting jumping out of illusion of the souls. Feeling sorry for me, thinking I was losing everything I owned and stepping off the throne. But for real, I was really stepping onto the golden sea as the source of the DP. When you know that you know, like you know you were God, ain't a fear that can steer you away from the stratosphere. Pioneer volunteers and the stars will we persevere. Yeah, never under anything but chandeliers. Saying cheers to the most high I see in the mirror. In the eyes of the kids. Whoop, there it is. I never settle dance with the devil in the mouth. I'll make them twerk till I shine. And my mother loving light work. The first path that passed fast, a little twerks. Trying to work on my nerves with the fear for grammar, slamming, famine of the flamin', DiBiase on the savage. I be married to my purpose, holy matrimony mission, bringing freedom to the multiverse and never stop creating. I'm a blizzard with a light that's so amazing. It's gon' third degree. Everything that's not the truth of me here in 3D. I couldn't get stung if I was a beekeeper with honey drizzles on my tummy. Yeah, when many beings came before me, but it's me doing me here eternally. Upon a beat amongst the family. Coming down in many fleas so big, my dude, you can't see the end of it. I told the souls that doubted me, this that real loving. Count 'em. The magnum opus of a science, geometric in alignment with the music of the soundless and the lyrical of breathing. It's the magic of the moment, grounded, bouncing, us serotonin. All the errors in conscious entertainment, separation over beautiful creations. We paint and build astonishing for humans. It's a pleasure and a service that we do in front of Omni. Yeah, keep it moving, booming. 333. Ascended Masters. Who I am as Commander Ashtar. We came to work here from energetic level. Supersede all superficial forms of the etherics. True healing. Yeah. Hold up, G. We ain't finished yet. Just like a blast in the past, yo, through futuristic wormholes, we came to earth as old souls that look young, that sing songs and shine light like glowworms. At bedtime for the young ones who scared of the dark until the dawn comes. And showbiz, they showed you what a news do. See, stay true, be too cool to be fooled by these dudes who talk tough and can't say I love you. Cause so tight, ain't bless you. My smile to the rescue, them feelings you suppress and act like you not moved. Stop faking, we got you. Please wipe off the ice grill, we not going to hurt you. This species be the truth, so know that your own strength is knowing that there is no devil.
Let go of your worries, let go of your cares, open your hearts and breathe in all the love that is waiting to pour into your lives. You are not on earth to make money, although we celebrate money made with love. You are not on earth to find the perfect partner, although we celebrate loving partnership, the love that creates you, the love that breathes life into you, the love that has never abandoned you, never seen you as anything less than beautiful, perfect, whole, and holy. Be kind to yourselves, dear ones. Treat yourselves as if there is nothing less than divine love within you. When you dress, you are clothing the divine. When you eat, you are feeding the divine. When you go to work, you have an opportunity to allow divine love to work through you. Connect with this love, dear friends, as often as you can. It will transform your life. Love, divine love wants so very much to love you. God bless you. We love you so very much. The angels.
Now, how did you say that last step went? Oh, yes.
All right. Y'all good? That was
Yes,
good.
sir.
One. I'm digging it.
that was
good variety, man. All right.
Most
See
definitely.
y'all next week. I'll get with Melissa. We'll get the bugs worked out. We'll get the
Yes,
bugs
sir.
worked out. All right, man.
Right. All right. Thanks a lot, bro.
All right, brother. I'll see y'all later. Have a good evening.
Yes,
Okay, man. All right, I'm accepting. And ending broadcast. Okay.